Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for December 2019. Hey, it's your birthday month, and there's going to be a pile of activity in your first house, of course, because it's your birthday month. Also, lots of activity in your second house of money and finance. Woot! Julia, what are your thoughts about this stuff?
Oh, wow. Well, Sadge, let's talk about Venus
Mm.
because it's her birthday month and she's a pretty fun planet. She's the planet of art, beauty, pleasure, and love. So Venus begins this month in your second house, which is the house of money, and that's the natural home of Venus. So this is a really good time to go shopping, Sadge, especially if you want to spend money on things which Venus rules, like luxury goods, beauty, art, that kind of stuff. And then when she goes into your third house on December 19th, Venus is going to bring a little bit more diplomacy and harmony to your communications because that's what the third house stands for. So it's a really good time for any type of negotiations that you have to do. And since siblings and neighbors are also ruled by the third house, if you have siblings and neighbors that you like to spend time with, you're going to really enjoy socializing with them more during that time. Now, Mars is going to be in Scorpio all month, which corresponds with your natal 12th house. So, Mars, that's the planet of activity and drive. And the 12th house is a really, really hidden, house in the zodiac. So, what this means is Mars being the planet of anger, you might be a little less likely during this month to kind of assert yourself and confront people directly. And you might be a little more prone to passive aggressive behavior if you don't like things or if you're not somehow feeling like you're getting your way. So be aware of that. And then when Mercury enters your first house on December 9th, this is a really good time to be more verbally expressive than usual. Now, if you have to get up in front of a group of people and do a presentation, I mean, that's a great transit for that because the planet Mercury is literally being manifested in your house of self. So you are really embodying Mercury during that time. And Mercury is about our communication. And then when it enters your second house on December 28th, again, that's the house of values, that's the house of money. You're going to spend a lot more time thinking about your personal values. And you may be maybe planning or strategizing about how to expand your money in some way. I mean, it could be a really, really helpful transit for anyone who's running a business or thinking about how to expand their business operations because of that. And what else is going on for you, Jamie?
Well, I love that Jupiter is moving into Capricorn. Now, Sagittarius, you might feel abandoned when Jupiter leaves your sign because that's also Jupiter's sign, and Jupiter is your ruling planet. But I think you're going to really enjoy what happens when Jupiter moves into Capricorn because that means it moves into your second house of finances, of security, of support. It's a house to do with things that connect us to the physical world, our physical bodies, the food that we put into them, and the money we make to sustain them. And Jupiter brings its characteristic hope, positivity, optimism, opportunity, and luck. And if there's anybody who knows how to grab an opportunity as it flies by, well, Sagittarius, that would be you. So, Jupiter moving into that second house is going to bring, I mean, I want to be clear that the advice we give in these horoscopes is specific to the sign, but not necessarily specific to your chart. But if you have Sagittarius rising, then I have to tell you, I am quite certain that sometime this year you will have a money luck period. And you absolutely got to know when and how to leverage that. How to strike, when to strike, what that strike should consist of. And I think it's going to feel pretty good. That would be a good occasion for getting a reading to find that stuff out. Now, there are a couple of lunations this month that are important to know about, and that Jupiter is going to pop up again in one of them. But the first one that happens is right around the 11th, and that is a full moon in Gemini and with the sun in Sagittarius. A full moon, you might already know, is when the moon and the sun are opposed to each other, and it's usually characterized by emotions being high. Now, there's a paradox, though, because this moon is in Gemini, and that is a very cerebral air sign. So when the moon is in Gemini, there's a tendency to think about emotions, to analyze emotions, to rationalize emotions, to apply logic and analysis to emotions, but not necessarily so much to feel them. So that already can bring a sort of a tone of worry and overthinking it. But then when you throw Neptune in Pisces into the mix, and Neptune is forming a T square essentially with the sun and moon during this lunation, then you add to it this feeling of life in suspense, a state of suspended animation. And so this whole full moon is saturated with a quality of free floating anxiety, like a dog chasing its tail, or a squirrel, trying to gather the nuts for the winter. So there's this anxiety, but the anxiety doesn't have anything to fasten onto. So it just spins and spins in its little hamster wheel. And if you find yourself feeling that way from the 10th to the 12th of this month, don't worry about it. Just take a chill pill, relax, calm yourself. Particularly, this is likely to come up in your relationships because that moon falls in the 7th house. And so you might even find that your partner is feeling a lot of anxiety and it seems like nothing will soothe them. In which case, that might be the case. Nothing will soothe them. And maybe taking a step back is the thing, or maybe just, telling them, distract yourself because all of this worry is not going anywhere. So then we have another moon happening at the end of the month and really right on Christmas. It is a new moon in Capricorn, and here's the moon in early Capricorn hanging out with the sun. And look what else is there, Jupiter. Now, this is a new moon, which is generally a time of beginnings, planting seeds, the start of a whole new cycle. So it's got the quality of birth about it. But this particular one is also a solar eclipse. And how we know that is that the nodes are right here. There's the south node in Capricorn opposite the north node in Cancer. And when a lunation, a new or a full moon, happens very near the nodes, that's when we get an eclipse. I won't explain the astronomical reasons why, although I could, but that's when we get an eclipse. And it happens twice a year, a couple eclipses in a row. But anyway, this particular eclipse is a solar eclipse, which means that we're going to see our shadow. Some of us more than others. If this eclipse happens near a degree in your chart, it's happening at 4 degrees of Capricorn. And a solar eclipse causes us often to see our shadow in ways that are obvious to others also, that are physical and apparent, as opposed to a lunar eclipse, which is more internal. And so I think that it's really important for you, Sagittarius, to watch for your shadow side to make an appearance in the realm of your finances around Christmas. Don't be surprised if it rears its ugly head, and use it as an opportunity to get clarity about your money, how you spend it, how you save it, where you get it. And because Jupiter is there, remember, your ruling planet, there is a big saving grace, and that is that if your shadow does pop up, you can grow from the situation. And so aim for that. I think that's all we've got for you, Sagittarius. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next month with the January horoscopes. And see you around the cosmos. Bye.